Lynch. These are the stories making news. Authorities released newly enhanced photos and video of the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. Unorthodox start to the trial of a man who allegedly tried to kill President Trump on his Florida golf course.
A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's effort to prevent certain immigrant children from enrolling in the Head Start program.
Former Missouri House Speaker John Deal of Town and Country in federal court yesterday facing a criminal wire fraud charge. He waived formal indictment and pleaded guilty.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayers. Sunshine and hot with a high of 95.
I'm Joe Pott. The Cards begin a 3-game weekend series with the Brewers tonight in Milwaukee. I've got details on that and more coming up in
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The FBI is asking for the public's help after releasing new video and still images of the gunman suspected of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University.
The FBI has released new photos of the person of interest in Charlie Kirk's killing, Utah Department of Public Health Commissioner Bo Mason.
We want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox adds,
"This is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family."
Vice President J.D. Vance had Kirk's body flown home to Arizona aboard Air Force Two. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Vance, the second lady, and Kirk's widow were all on last night's flight. There have been multiple threats at locations across the country in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder. Yesterday, Capitol Police cleared the Democratic National Committee headquarters after what was later deemed to be a false bomb threat. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We're in a deliberate review process right now to determine what measures are appropriate.
Threats to half a dozen historically black colleges and universities triggered lockdowns and cancellation of classes. We're learning more about the 16-year-old suspected school shooter in Colorado who wounded 2 classmates at Evergreen High this week. Jackie Kelly is with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
The suspect brought quite a bit of ammunition with him and he continued to reload. I think we're very, very grateful that there were not more injuries.
That suspect died by suicide. Officials believed he'd been radicalized by an unnamed extremist network. Qatar's prime minister is in Washington to discuss Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Doha this week. Meantime, the IDF continues a quest to take over Gaza. The BBC's Wira Davis.
Airstrikes overnight, more buildings destroyed, and today Israel has issued yet another warning to the 1 million or so residents of Gaza City to move further south. It's named 6 areas in central Gaza and 8 areas in southern Gaza towards which it says people can move, and that's in anticipation of what is thought to be a big Israeli ground offensive in Gaza City itself.
In Brazil, celebrations in the streets after former President Jair Bolsonaro was sentenced to 27 years in prison for plotting to overthrow the government there. His ally, President Trump, recently proposed a 50% tariff on Brazil, calling the trial a witch hunt. Dow futures are down 84. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
At 6:03, we have clear skies, 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, September 12th. The news sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. The former Speaker of the Missouri House pleading guilty to hundreds of thousands of dollars of pandemic loan fraud.
Jeeps, Teslas, Audis, country club fees, credit cards, his mortgage, college tuition for a family member, pool maintenance, and more. That's what former Missouri House Speaker John Deal pled guilty to fraudulently using COVID relief funds towards instead of his business as it was intended. According to prosecutors, he defrauded the federal government of $379,000 of money through the CARES Act from the Small Business Administration. Deal is set to be sentenced on December 19th. He faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Outside the federal courthouse, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley says he's encouraged by news of a tentative deal between Boeing and roughly 3,200 striking union workers at 3 of its plants in the St. Louis area.
I want to see what the workers have to say about it. They're the most important voice in this, obviously, because they're the foundation of the company. I've said this now for a long time. The C-suite at Boeing, all those executives, they got paid like unbelievable. They made out like bandits while they strip mined that company. That was so wrong. They need to do right by their workers.
Members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers scheduled to vote this morning on the new 5-year contract offer. It includes restored signing bonuses and an average wage increase of 45%.
Missouri Congressman Emanuel Cleaver made a special trip to Jefferson City Thursday to speak out against a proposed congressional map that state lawmakers are considering and will likely pass. The new map puts Cleaver's seat at risk because the proposed map would split Kansas City into 3 districts and stretch his current district deep into rural Republican territory, dramatically weakening Democratic voting strength. After testifying to a Senate committee, he told reporters he never gets himself involved in the efforts of people trying to get the attention of the General Assembly.
This may be far more monumental than we know, and so long after I'm gone, people here are going to feel the effects of the decision made by the General Assembly. I am aware that there are a lot of moving parts to the opposition.
Cleaver says legal challenges, including lawsuits from the NAACP and himself, are already in motion as lawmakers prepare to take final votes today on the redistricting bill and a proposal that would raise the threshold for citizen-led ballot measures becoming law.
The St. Louis City Board of Aldermen set to follow St. Charles County when they return to session today. Aldermanic President Megan Green says they'll be tackling data centers early on.
Zoning rules and regulations to mitigate environmental impact, to mitigate any strain on our electrical grid, to make sure that these developments work for our community.
Earlier this week, the city's planning commission recommended the board put in a 1-year moratorium on new data centers or until they create regulations. Green also says modernizing the city's zoning code and charter are other priorities.
St. Louis County is adding extra office hours to help seniors with questions about the senior tax freeze application. The deadline for applying is September 30th. Next week, the county's Department of Revenue satellite offices in Chesterfield, South County, and St. Anne will be open from 8 to 4:30. The final walk-in clients will be taken at 4. The county will also be sending out postcards next week to seniors whose applications are incomplete. That's approximately 11,800 applications.
St. Louis County will officially recognize Hispanic Heritage Month today with the raising of a flag in Memorial Park. The flag, designed by artist Jose Garza in collaboration with the Hispanic Festival, the Regional Arts Commission, and the Latinx Arts Network. The event takes place this morning at 11:30.
It's a focal point for the world.
Gateway Arch National Park spokesman John Orrell tells KMOX the iconic structure has been a focal point for branding for this region's businesses.
There are businesses and marketing firms and graphic designers all over the region that use the arch or have used the arch. We've been doing this for 6 decades now.
And your organization's arch-related logos could be on display at next month's celebration of the Arch's 60th anniversary. You have until September 19th to submit them at gatewayarch.com.
The KMOX Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. A credit union that's been growing its presence in St. Louis recently announced a sponsorship and lease agreement with the University of Missouri St. Louis. Community America Credit Union will pay UMSL $500,000. They'll open a branch on campus, but also sponsor and develop financial education initiatives, working with the UMSL Center for Excellence in Financial Counseling. That's according to the Business Journal.
It is 6:08, and we'll take a look at traffic and weather when we come back. Stay with us. It's Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Terry, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is now 6:10, and that means it's time for us to check traffic and weather. We start with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, nobody's complaining about the drive in or the drive out, wherever you're going, wherever you need to get to. It looks good on the interstate so far this morning, Debbie. 70 out in Warrenton is fine. 64 through the Winghaven area, 55 coming up to 67 through McNutt, north of Bayless, 270 at Ladue, all the work zones. Good to go. On the Illinois side, some of that road work should be getting wrapped up. 64 at Greenmount, at least the westbound side. Eastbound, they'll stay out there till 7. They're scheduled to have a lane closed this hour downtown through 2 this afternoon. Eastbound 64 between Jefferson and the last Missouri exit. Again, not enough volume to see any delays through there right now. And they had some emergency, I think, safety repair work they had to do. Westbound 64, the left lane and the left-hand exit at 3rd Street on the Illinois side, I believe, still closed. But again, not enough volume through there to create any slow going for you so far this morning. We do have one crash up in Lincoln County near Ellsbury, Windy Hill Lane, off of it's sort of southwest of Highway B and Highway W, but that's not going to impact too many folks. Next update at 6:20 for the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine today. It's going to be a hot day with a high of 95. The record is 98. Remaining warm tonight, mainly clear with a low of 71. Then very hot with sun and some clouds and a high of 98 tomorrow. The record is 100. Still quite hot with partly sunny skies, high 96 on Sunday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
65 in Florissant, 62 both in St. Peter's and downtown at the Arch. The weather sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Mizzou and Illinois looking to improve to 3-0 this weekend. We'll hear from the Tigers head coach straight ahead in sports.
It is 6:12. The Utah Department of Public Safety says multiple leads are being investigated in the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, but no suspect in custody. President Trump is speaking out about the search for the gunman. Here's CBS's Erica Brown.
Investigators found clues including a high-powered hunting rifle in a wooded area along the path the shooter fled. A $100,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest.
Utah's governor said Thursday night that so far investigators have received more than 7,000 leads and tips and have completed some 200 interviews.
KMOX walked the streets to find out how St. Louisans are feeling about Charlie Kirk's death.
You got to think twice before throwing your hat into that ring because you're basically putting a big target on your back, right? And it just seems, the more publicity you get, the larger that target gets.
No comment. I'm sad. That's all.
I really don't care, to be honest. Don't really care. That's about it.
What does it mean for America right now that someone can be assassinated for what they believe in like that?
It's happened to Democrats too.
A new local study shows trust in the CDC plunging.
There's a public health monitoring program at WashU that started during COVID. It's made up of a panel that gets cell phone surveys every week about health news. This last go around, the number of people who say they trust the CDC, particularly on flu recommendations, sunk. Those who thought the CDC was prepared went from 71% in June to 56%. Those who thought the CDC flu response was in their best interest dropped from 78% to 61%. Trust in the CDC's recommendations for flu vaccines also declined from 59% to 50%. The steepest declines were among men and those over 60. One of the researchers points out these numbers show how fast public trust can shift. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Higher costs are shutting down or delaying construction projects. Ken Simonson, chief economist with the Associated General Contractors of America, blames tariffs on steel, aluminum, copper, and lumber.
Many contractors say they have strong order books for 2026, but the projects they thought were going to happen in 2025 just haven't gone ahead, or they've been scaled back or even canceled.
U.S. Census data backs up the contractors' data, showing a decline compared to this time last year in both public and private construction spending.
Speeding and distracted driving remain threats to travelers in Missouri, even more so to road crews doing construction and maintenance work along the state's highways. That's what MoDOT Director Ed Hassinger tells the Joint Legislative Committee.
As our crews are working hard, we still have these concerns with all these work zones out there that the behavior of the public is really atrocious. And, it's just as dangerous for the public as it is for our folks when they don't obey those, work zone signs.
Hassinger says Missouri's new hands-free law appears to be helping. Their data shows there's been a 5% drop in distracted driving incidents since January 1st.
Still ahead at 6:22, we're learning more about the food shortage at a food pantry in Arnold. It's 6:15.
25th ranked Mizzou is at home tomorrow. They'll face the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns tomorrow at Faurot Field. Mizzou is 2-0 following home wins against Central Arkansas and KU. Louisiana is 1-1 following an opening week loss against Rice and a win last week against McNeese State. Tigers head coach Eli Drinkwitz said in his weekly press conference that the Tigers will have to deal with Louisiana's defensive front.
ULL is a really good football team. They got 9 returning starters. They won 10 games last year, played for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Last year beat a Power 4 team in the regular season. I think defensively, the strength of their team is with their defensive line. And with as much pressure as we allowed and sacks as we allowed with our quarterback and our inability to gain short yardage in critical situations, I think it's going to be a real challenge for our team to improve in that way.
Kickoff for that game tomorrow has been moved to noon in Columbia. The 9th-ranked Fighting Illini look to improve to 3-0. They're at home tomorrow to face Western Michigan in Champaign. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff at Memorial Stadium. The Cardinals took a much-needed day off yesterday, that is, following a rough series in Seattle where the Redbirds were swept by the Mariners. And while the Cards were getting swept, they were missing out on an opportunity to move up in the wild card standings. The Mets they've just fallen off. The Mets have now lost 6 in a row, meaning the Cardinals potentially could have been a half a game out of the final wild card spot. Instead, they're 4.5 games out and still looking up at the Diamondbacks, Giants, and Reds in the race for the final postseason slot. The Reds and the Giants are a game and a half out, while Arizona is 3 games back. Tonight, the Cards are in Milwaukee to open a 3-game series. It's the first of 2 consecutive weekend series between the Cards and Milwaukee. The Brewers will be in St. Louis next weekend. Brewers trying to become the first team in baseball to 90 wins. They will do that with their next win. Andre Palante starts tonight for the Redbirds. He makes his 29th start. He's looking for his first win since the end of July when he tossed 7 innings against the Marlins at Busch Stadium. Quinn Priester throws for the Brewers. He's 12-2 with a 3.25 ERA this year, 26 appearances overall and 21 starts. Those are career highs for Priester. First pitch comes up at 7:10. Ameren Total Access gets started at 6:15. Your next sports update comes up at 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200. An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 6:20. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Megan Lynch and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're still cruising along out there so far this morning, Debbie. This traffic report service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, 55 coming up into 67. We've been having delays this last week, pretty extensive ones in the work zone there. Nothing doing at McNutt or north of Bayless. 270 at Ladue looks good. Eastbound 70 around Warrenton, fine. 64 through Winghaven, no big deal. They should have the westbound road work wrapped up through Greenmount Road, but eastbound still out there. But again, not a factor. And they were doing some emergency safety repair work, something like that. Westbound 64 at the 3rd Street exit, that left lane and the exit itself closed on the way to the Poplar Street Bridge. But again, not enough volume through there to slow you down. And they're scheduled to be out this hour, eastbound 64 between Jefferson and the last Missouri exit on the Missouri side as well. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is the central part of a sound financial plan, and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny, hot today. We're expecting a high of 95. It'll only dip down to around 71 tonight. And then tomorrow, very hot, a high of 98. We have 62 degrees now downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:21. The reserve shelves are nearly bare at the Gateway Food Pantry in Arnold, which has the executive director there pleading for help.
The pantry's current food supply valued about $300,000 less than it was at this time last year.
I think all my volunteers, when they come into work and it's their job to put food in a bag for someone who lives down the street from them and there's not as much food on the shelf, you get nervous. Or you go to our reserve space, it's almost completely depleted now, which is scary. And that's when we have to just go get the credit card and go straight to the store in order to buy products to make sure those bags still get full.
This is Stuart McMillan. I stood among the hustle and bustle of the Gateway Food Pantry in Arnold on Distribution Day, where Director Patrick McKelvey says they serve up to 250 families. A long line of vehicles form around the building as volunteers roll carts out to place food in those vehicles.
All of us need your help. If you're not able to donate to the Gateway Food Pantry, I would encourage you to go to the pantry that's in your church's basement, the Salvation Army down the street, or just the food pantry that serves your neighborhood. This is across the board. Every food pantry is either short on monetary donations or just a few canned goods or boxes of cereal or peanut butter and jelly coming into their pantry. And our biggest client demographic here is 5 through 18. Those are school-age children. So I always tell people, one, you can always call your local pantry and ask them what they need. Everyone has different needs. But the other answer is you should always shop for what children enjoy. Those are our largest demographics. So I always say, hey, what do you buy for your kids? That's our largest client demographic here. So get those Pop-Tarts, get that peanut butter and jelly, get anything you think kids would like.
Right now, the need is more food. And while families suffer from rising costs at the grocery stores and inflation, it hurts those trying to donate as well. That's evident when you look around the reserve shelves at Gateway Food Pantry.
No food pantry is ever going to turn anyone away. However, there comes a point where you have to start giving your clients less. Fortunately, my pantry is in a position that we've increased our food purchasing budget. We've quadrupled it from where it was last year. Now quadrupled it.
That seems like a pretty big jump. Is it just because of inflation and the prices of groceries?
So it's just what we have to do to keep up. We've had a $300,000 loss from our largest food source of food coming into the pantry. So when that happens, you can give up, you can give your clients less food, or you can go out to your community and ask for help. But the other side of that really is saying, hey, we have money. We have to do it with the clients. Sure, we may need to get our parking lot redone. Maybe we needed a new roof due to the tornado. But right now we're focusing all of our resources on purchasing food for our clients because we don't want to give less. And we know the increase is more. Now that can be due to an inflation. That can be due to tariffs. When Boeing's on strike, I thought at the end of summer we were going to peak, and then we had 30 families come in the next week because the strike had prolonged. Now, it sounds like that may get resolved, but you never know what it's going to be next. Anytime another food pantry goes down, those people have to come somewhere, right? And we've been lucky enough that we're able to handle them so far, but we've never turned anyone away. I don't want to do that. We don't want to reduce services. This is the time where people need help from us, and we're going to do that.
McKelvey says the pantry is delivering empty bags to 20,000 households as a plea for donations.
Gateway Food Pantry has been active since the 1980s. The website, gatewayfoodpantry.org.
New ER questions? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. People who show up at emergency rooms in California could soon be asked more about their vaccine history.
There are a lot of people who use the emergency room whenever they need any type of medical care because they don't have a primary care physician.
Basically, people who are uninsured, a lot of homeless persons, immigrants, and other groups that really don't have primary care.
UC Riverside School of Medicine's Dr. Robert Rodriguez says as a result, half of those people aren't knowledgeable about the vaccines they need and don't get them. He led a study questioning emergency room patients with non-critical conditions to find out what they know about vaccines.
The vast majority, really 86%, were missing vaccines, and about half of those would accept vaccines.
He's hoping to put this information to use to encourage emergency rooms to educate their patients about vaccines and to offer questionnaires to facilitate this, with the end result
to get more people that are underserved opportunities to get vaccinated.
He hopes to get the process automated so patients can easily access a questionnaire.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
Right now it is 6:26. The time check is sponsored for you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's live in St. Louis, September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronti, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
We welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
you want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
At 6:30, we have clear skies, 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and here's Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're responding to a crash reported on 21 near McKenzie Ridge Mobile Home Park right now, Debbie. So watch for activity on 21 in the area there. They just called out the EMS. There's a little more volume on the highways. Northbound 55, a little bit busier between Bayless and Weber. Eastbound 30, a little more traffic going up the hill from Mauer Industrial to 270. Westbound 64, seeing a little slowdown at Winghaven. That's westbound, not eastbound. 70 around Warrenton looks okay. Southbound 61 and eastbound 64 and eastbound 70 coming through the Wentzville area look just fine. Downtown, we're still good to go. Westbound across the Poplar. Still out there doing the road work. Eastbound 64 through 159 Greenmount. They have a couple lanes closed, but it is eastbound, not westbound. So again, no delays running through that construction zone. And westbound 64, emergency repair work had the exit closed on the left lane to 3rd Street. But again, I'm not seeing delays through there at this time either. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We will get close to record highs today. Sunny, hot, a high of 95. Clear and warm tonight with a low of 71, and then even hotter tomorrow. A high expected near 98. Currently, we have 62 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Could the Boeing strike come to a close? Boeing union machinists are set to vote on the latest labor agreement, which, if approved, would end the more than month-long strike. Boeing says this offer adds an additional 5th year, which pushes the average wage increase up from 40 to 45%. Striking Boeing workers have said that number is an exaggeration of what kind of raise most employees would see. The vote begins at 8 o'clock this morning at the St. Louis Music Park.
The Board of Aldermen will return to session after summer recess today. The zoning code will be an early priority.
Our zoning code in the city of St. Louis is 70 years old.
Aldermanic President Megan Green, she explains the importance of updating the city's code.
It makes it difficult to build density in our city. And, we know that we need to increase our population.
Green points to allocating more RAMS money to tornado relief and streamlining the city's development process as other early priorities. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Former Missouri House Speaker John Deal of Town and Country was in federal court yesterday facing criminal wire fraud charge. He waived formal indictment and pleaded guilty. Deal is accused of devising a scheme to get more than $380,000 from the Small Business Administration. Deal resigned from office in 2015 after sexually charged text messages with a teenaged intern came to light.
Turning vacant land into pocket parks to beautify and improve neighborhoods is the goal of the group Pocket Parks.
We've been operating for 5 years now, and over the course of 5 years, we've created 6 parks. We've had over 61 community events, planted over 1,500 new native plants, and logged 7,000 hours of volunteer hours.
Samantha Smugala says the next two coming to North and South Broadway in the Baden and Marine Villa neighborhoods. She says the Pocket Parks build community, help with safety and security, and can even give traction to some economic development. On Saturday, the 20th, they are having a place-making blitz at Marine Villa Meadow where volunteers can help plant. Pocket Parks is partnering with STL Vacancy Collaborative and its Vacancy to Vibrancy Small Grants program.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34.
This is Tom Ackerman. Enjoy your outdoor space this spring with vegetable gardens and fresh landscaping. And with St. Louis Composting, they can help you with that. Order online for delivery, or you can pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of their 9 locations. You can find those locations at stlcompost.com. At St. Louis Composting, they transform organic yard waste like branches, leaves, grass clippings, and more into premium compost through a 6-month static composting process. As the largest and most trusted compost provider in the St. Louis area, they're committed to producing only the best. All of their products are STA certified, and they proudly offer compost for organic gardening and farming. Whether you're looking for bulk compost or just a few bags, St. Louis Composting provides an extensive selection of STA-certified compost soil blends and mulches. Visit one of their 9 facilities in St. Louis, stlcompost.com.
It's now 6:35. It's time for your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. The next big media deal is reportedly in the planning stages. Sources tell Bloomberg that Paramount Skydance is preparing a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The sources say Paramount is working with an investment bank, but so far it has not held any talks with Warner Brothers. Reports say a formal merger proposal would likely get a lot of regulatory scrutiny. President Trump's nominee to be ambassador to India told reporters the U.S. and India are close to resolving their trade differences. Speaking at his confirmation hearing, Sergio Gore said the two nations are not that far apart on a deal, but he reiterated demands that India end its purchases of Russian oil. And Apple is being sued over selling unsecured and defective gift cards. The proposed class action filed yesterday in California claims that Apple gift cards were susceptible to being drained of funds by unauthorized third parties before the purchaser could use them. The suit alleges that Apple knew about an ongoing fraudulent scheme, but failed to implement security measures or warn customers. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, it's
Get
Tom
the latest
Ackerman.
business
Football
news from Bloomberg
is back,
at 08.
thank goodness. And Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more during football season. There is nothing better. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TOM. That's really important. Promo code TOM to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
I'm Altima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at progressive.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:39, and you are listening to Total Information AM. More officials are needed in Missouri for fall sports.
Last year, almost 35,000 junior high and high school boys played football in Missouri. That means 1,300 officials to keep all those games going. Andrew Kaufman is with MSHA, the Missouri State High School Activities Association. He says they need even more basketball officials.
Over 90% of our membership, of our member schools, participate in basketball. And a lot of schools have a varsity team, a junior varsity team, freshman team. So more games in basketball than there are in any sport. So we need more basketball officials than any sport.
There's an application on the MSHA website. Kaufman tells MissouriNet, you got to love the game, and being in shape helps too.
You got to keep up with these athletes, which is very important as well.
Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Dominamete, and what a save! Unbelievable save by Jordan Binnington!
A familiar voice for St. Louis hockey fans heading to Hollywood. John Kelly, who called Blues games for 2 decades, has been hired as the new television play-by-play announcer for the Los Angeles Kings. The move comes just a couple of months after the Blues announced a change in their own broadcast, opting to simulcast their radio team on TV this season.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Let's get you caught up on your ride in, traffic and weather, starting with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the traffic really doesn't look bad, Debbie, if you're heading out the door onto the highways right now. We do have some slow traffic north 270 from approaching Doherty Ferry, I guess we can say, up the hill to Manchester. Northbound 55, a little busy. Bayless Weber, they're reporting a crash northbound 21 south of Hillsborough before you get to the 4-lane near the McKenzie Ridge Mobile Home Park. I don't really see delays through there right now. Thankfully, downtown, we still look okay. Westbound, headed across the bridges. There's some slow traffic. Southbound Route 3 again this morning, south of 270, headed down through West Pontoon. And we also have some backed up traffic northbound Tesson Ferry from Merrimack bottom up to Hageman at this time. Your garage door is always there for your rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We are headed into a heat wave. Let's get the latest from AccuWeather's Heather Zaire.
And we really are looking at some very hot weather over the coming days. Not going to be seeing even a little bit of relief much during the overnight hours. Here for today with sunshine, we are headed up to 95 degrees. The record is 98 from 1956. We'll stay warm tonight. The low 71 degrees under mainly clear skies. Then sunny to partly cloudy tomorrow. Still very hot with a high of 98. The record is 100. Partly sunny, still quite hot with a high of 96 on Sunday, 94, still hot with a mix of clouds and sun on Monday. A little more sun returns with a high of 96 on Tuesday. The record is 98. Right now, 63 in St. Peter's, 66 in Florissant, 70 downtown at the Arch. All of these temperatures really much more like summertime lows. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. We'll tell you who's hot as the Cards head to Milwaukee for a weekend series straight ahead in sports.
It is 6:42. CBS's Bradley Blackburn tells us about some big screen movies expected to attract big audiences today and in the weeks ahead.
Sydney Sweeney is in the biopic Christy. Sweeney plays pioneering female boxer Christy Martin. Dev Patel stars in the new film Rabbit Trap, the story of husband and wife musicians who disturb ancient folk magic. The psychological horror movie hits theaters Friday. Downton Abbey returns to screens for a grand finale. The third and final film follows the Crawley family into the 1930s as Lady Mary takes leadership of the English estate. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
More on that movie that has everyone buzzing about Sydney Sweeney and a possible Oscar nod. The actress traded her American Eagle jeans for boxing gloves for that upcoming movie, Christy. In the just-released trailer, Sydney plays professional boxer Christy Martin, who comes from a small town in West Virginia to become a fierce fighting machine in the 90s. Her life falls apart when her husband tries to kill her in 2010. The biopic opens in theaters November 7th.
I bet most people go their entire lives and they don't even know what their thing is.
You the world champion right now. You think you what makes the world turn. But one day you're going to wake up and realize that it turns just fine without you.
59 years ago today, the Monkees debuted on NBC.
Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing.
59 years ago today, the Monkees series used sets and props from the Three Stooges films, and the actors even watched Three Stooges movies as parts of their training, contributing to the physical comedy and rapid-fire jokes. I have to confess, I was a huge Monkees fan growing up.
Love the Monkees. So much fun.
Yeah, I would come home every day after school and watch the reruns on TV. And my three first crushes in life, one of them was Davy Jones. Although I think when I was in kindergarten, I was already taller than Davy Jones. And the other one was Speed Racer. I literally had a crush on Speed Racer because that's what I would watch.
Oh, Speed.
The Monkees and Speed Racer. And then my other crush was Christopher Lee because he was the best Dracula. So, yes, wasn't I a weird kid? I did get to interview Davy Jones maybe 10, 15 years ago. He had done this project with Sandra Boynton, the children's author, and he did a song for her book, which I could sing to you right now, but I won't. And it was amazing to come full circle and interview Davy Jones.
Well, Who's Hot is sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Order online for delivery or pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of our 9 locations. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Tonight, the Cardinals open a series in Milwaukee. It's the first of 2 consecutive weekend series between the two clubs. Ivan Herrera has spent the year as the Cards' DH. He's appeared in a career-best 92 games this year, and that's despite a couple of stays on the injured list. His 15 homers and 56 RBIs for the year also are career bests. Herrera is hitting .280 with 5 home runs and 9 RBIs in his last 15 games. He's got an OPS of 1.023 over that span. Andre Palante will start on the mound for the Cardinals tonight, 29th start of the year for the right-hander, trying to win for the first time since the end of July. Overall this year, 6-13 with a 4.29 ERA. He's racked up a career best 150 innings and 104 strikeouts this year. He'll make his second start of the year against the Brewers. He started on June 14th at American Family Field in Milwaukee, where he allowed 4 runs over 4 1/3 innings. Did not get a decision in that one. He is 0-1 lifetime against Milwaukee. Quinn Priester will go for the Brewers tonight. He is 12-2 with a 3.25 ERA. 21 starts this year. That's career highs for Priester. He's faced the Cardinals already twice this season. Had a no decision in St. Louis where he gave up 5 runs in 5 innings in April. And in June, he allowed just a run in 6 innings. Got a win in the game in Milwaukee. First pitch tonight comes up at 7:10. Ameren Total Access at 6:15. Tomorrow night, St. Louis City, they're on the road. They'll face Montreal. City is searching for its first win in a month, last taking all 3 points in a game against Nashville August 9th. Most recently, City tied Dallas 1-1 Saturday at Energizer Park. St. Louis is 14th in the West with 22 points, 5-17-7, the overall record. Montreal hasn't played a game since a 1-1 draw with Toronto on August 30th. They're 14th in the Eastern Conference with 24 points at 5-15-9. Kickoff tomorrow is 6:30 with pregame coming at 6:15 on our sister station, Y98. Thursday night football last night, Packers beat the Commanders 27-18.
Jacobs is the running back on a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Off the fake, pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
And it came from quarterback Jordan Love. That is Al Michaels. That was courtesy of the NFL on Prime. Love threw for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns in the win. It moved Green Bay to 2-0 on the year. Jaden Daniels, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the loss. Washington goes to 1-1. Next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Arnold, Thursday, September 18th. A limited number of fans can get an autographed picture from City SC player Timo Bungardel. Win great prizes, enjoy great food, and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Arnold is the place to be Thursday, September 18th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 6:50. Let's see how things are moving on the roads out there with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they look great on a Friday morning, of course, Megan. No weather-related issues and everything else is light volume-wise. This traffic reports a service of Eamon, Gantner, Capriano. So if you're on the highways, not much to be concerned about right now. Northbound 270 is a little slow coming through Doherty Ferry up the hill toward Manchester. 55 looks better than it did 10 minutes ago between Bayless and River to Pear. Still have a little bit of a backup there on northbound Tesson Ferry. Between Merrimack Bottom and Hegeman, it's actually jammed at that location. Out west, we look good. Southbound 61 on to eastbound 64 or 70, rolling in across the Missouri River bridges. Northbound 21 south of Hillsborough, we had an injury crash reported. I'm just seeing minimal delays there, a slowdown near the McKenzie Ridge Mobile Home Park as you get into town. And on the Illinois side, the only delays really is southbound Route 3, bit of a jam from 270 most of the way down to West Pontoon. That's roadwork related. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret at Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. I was suddenly widowed at 41. We had a will. Do you? Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
It's going to be hot, and maybe that's all you need to know. But if you want to know just how hot, well, we will have a mix of sun and clouds for this 5-day forecast and temperatures in near record tying areas. So today, mostly sunny, 95. Tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, 98. Partly sunny, 96 on Sunday, 94 on Monday, 96 on Tuesday. Right now, it's pretty nice, though. Clear skies, 63 degrees.
The news continues at 6:52. The FBI has released video they say shows the alleged shooter who killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah. They say it shows the suspect after the attack sprinting across a roof, climbing down, and leaving on foot into some woods. CBS's Carter Evans spoke with FBI agent Robert Bowles.
Do you believe that the suspect could be hiding in the woods? And is that suspect possibly still in this area?
No, not in those woods. We've walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk.
Last night, Governor Cox revealed the state is already preparing to pursue the death penalty against the gunman.
Charlie Kirk's casket arrived in Phoenix with his widow, Erica, and Vice President J.D. Vance's wife, Usha. Kirk's casket given a police escort through the city. Here's CBS's Weijia Zhang.
Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people.
The president also spoke about Kirk's killer.
He's an animal, total animal, and hopefully they'll have him and they'll get him. What he did is disgraceful.
Vice President Vance, who had a close relationship with Kirk, flew to Utah yesterday to visit with Kirk's family and to escort the casket on Air Force Two to Phoenix.
Opening statements in the trial of the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump last year began in Florida. Ryan Ruth representing himself in court. Prosecutors claim the 59-year-old hid with a rifle near Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach last September. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman was inside court and has more.
At one point, he almost began crying while talking about a tractor. He was very poetically talking about a lot of different objects. But it was when he said, "So no, this case means absolutely nothing," that the prosecution objected, and she finally just ended his opening statement. Partway through, she had stopped him, tried to put him back on track, and told him he couldn't make a mockery of this courthouse.
Ruth has pleaded not guilty to 5 federal charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley joining with Democrats in voting Wednesday in favor of requiring the feds to publicly release all unclassified documents about deceased sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Hawley tells MissouriNet he was not faced with any backlash from the Trump administration over voting with Democrats on the issue.
Oh, no. I mean, listen, the president has said, and I agree with him, the president said a couple months ago now that he thought the attorney general should release whatever she could, whatever wasn't classified in those files. That's been my position for literally years.
Fellow Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky also joined Democrats in supporting that amendment, which failed 49-51.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout-out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family-owned and top-rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Celebrity birthdays for this Friday, September 12th. Include this singer.
All I wanna do,
That is singer Jennifer Nettle. She's 51 years old, best known as the lead singer of Sugarland. Other birthdays today, actor Linda Gray, 85, composer Hans Zimmer is 68, and singer-actor Jennifer Hudson is 44.
Local celebrity birthdays include a happy 8th to Lydia Murray of Chesterfield, Laura Hughley, Jessica Hentoff, Kat Neville, also Diane Hespin from Mom and Dad, and happy birthday to KMOX's own Ethan Hannaford.
This is the best birthday ever.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is your last chance to live in a brand new home at The Preserve, located at Mackenzie and Watson Roads. We have 5 outstanding homes ready for move-in at amazing prices and special financing as low as 4.75%. Choose from ranch or 1.5-story homes backing to woods. Our luxurious Turnberry display is now for sale. Also, get up to $10,000 in free closing costs. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
I always get asked, when's the best time of the year to purchase an air conditioning and heating system for your home? My response is always the same. If you call me and have a free consultation on your needs and based on your budget, it's always a good time. There's never a bad time. You don't fear my pricing. I try to buy as much as I can at the start of the season, and anything we have left over, it's still a discounted price to you. So if you're looking or you're waiting before winter, because we all put it off, man, we all put it off. None of us like to spend money. But if you know you're going to be doing something before winter, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Let's get you caught up on traffic. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, traffic on a Friday, Debbie, looks great. 55 coming up through the work zone, not only down south into 67 in McNutt, but north of Bayless. I don't see any issues there. If you're on southbound 170, get on eastbound 64, that ramp's a little slow. I did get a word from ODOT. They do have that left lane closed downtown, eastbound 64 between Jefferson and roughly 6th Street, so all the way through the heart of downtown. But again, not enough volume to back you up. We still look good out west. Southbound 61 down onto eastbound 64, eastbound 70 coming out of Wentzville. There are no issues there. Still just the briefest of delays. Northbound 21 past the McKenzie Ridge, a little more of a backup now past the McKenzie Ridge, a mobile home park just south of Hillsborough, where we have an injury crash. And then you still have some heavy traffic through Merrimack Bottom and Hageman on northbound 21 after that. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. New clues in the search for the suspect in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI has provided fresh images and a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to an arrest. Correspondent Carter Evans has details from Orem, Utah.
Investigators released surveillance video Thursday night showing the man they say shot and killed Charlie Kirk running across the roof of Utah Valley University's Losey Center after the shooting, dropping to the ground below and fleeing the scene through a campus parking lot.
As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA.
President Trump.
He's an animal, total animal. And hopefully they'll have him and they'll get him. What he did is disgraceful.
Kirk was a close Trump ally. The president says he plans to attend the funeral. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are cutting back on public events after Charlie Kirk's death.
New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez postponed a rally in North Carolina. Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego postponed a town hall in Las Vegas. South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace says she'll start carrying a gun in states that allow it.
I will not be doing any outdoor events anytime soon.
Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina isn't sure extra security will do much.
I think we just need to be smart. That's what these folks try to do. They try to scare you into inaction.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
We're learning more about the 16-year-old suspected school shooter in Colorado who wounded two classmates at Evergreen High this week. Jackie Kelly is with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
Based on some of the information that we're seeing about this suspect is that he was radicalized by some extremist network.
Police say Desmond Holley died by suicide. Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets with Qatar's prime minister in Washington days after an Israeli strike that targeted Hamas leaders in Doha. CBS's Imtiaz Tayab is there.
These meetings will be the first face-to-face talks following Israel's shocking attacks here in the capital, Doha, which has enraged key American allies all across the Middle East.
Qatar hosts the largest American military base in the region. The country has close economic ties to the U.S. It promised to give President Trump a $400 million plane as a new Air Force One. Lawmakers in California have passed a bill that would forbid law enforcement officers, including ICE agents, from wearing face masks when they stage immigration raids. Another measure would require them to identify themselves. SWAT teams would be exempt. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club.
Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At 7:04, we have clear skies, 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, September 12th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. A former Missouri politician is pleading guilty to pandemic fraud.
Former Missouri House Speaker John Deal of Town and Country pleads guilty to one count of wire fraud after defrauding the Small Business Administration's CARES Act during the pandemic. According to prosecutors, he defrauded $379,000 from the federal government that were intended to go to his business, Deal Law, where he was the sole employee. Instead, they went to a litany of other personal expenses, including but not limited to Audis, Teslas, Jeeps, credit cards, mortgage payments, and more. Deal is set to be sentenced on December 19th at 9:15 a.m. He faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Outside the federal courthouse, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Could the Boeing strike come to a close? Boeing union machinists set to vote on the latest labor agreement, which, if approved, would end the more than month-long strike. Boeing says the offer adds an additional fifth year, which pushes the average wage increase up from 40 to 45%. Striking Boeing workers have said that number is an exaggeration. The vote begins at 8 a.m. today at St. Louis Music Park. It concludes at 11 a.m.
Driver behavior in Missouri work zones is atrocious. That's according to MoDOT Director Ed Hassinger.
The things that we're seeing on the highways just kind of make your skin crawl when you see them. Distracted driving, people driving, 20 and 30 miles over the speed limit in work zones. If you're one of our folks or one of our contractors' folks out there on the road, it makes you think twice about what's going on.
Hassinger tells a joint legislative committee that 36 people were killed on Missouri highway work zones in 2023. That number dropped to 24 last year, but Hassinger says that is still too many.
A steep decline in trust in the CDC among St. Louisans the last few months.
Out of Washington University, and the numbers are steep among men and older adults. Participants were specifically asked about the CDC on flu vaccinations. In June, 71% of St. Louis adults agreed the CDC is prepared to respond to the flu. By September, that number had fallen to 56%. The percentage of residents who felt the CDC's flu response was in their best interest dropped from 78 to 61%. One of the researchers reflects on these numbers, saying it shows how quickly public trust can shift. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
St. Louis County is adding extra office hours to help seniors with questions about the senior tax freeze application. The deadline for applying is September 30th. Next week, the county's Department of Revenue satellite offices in Chesterfield, Sal County, and St. Anne will be open from 8 to 4:30. The final walk-in clients will be taken at 4. The county will also be sending out postcards next week to seniors whose applications are incomplete. That's approximately 11,800 applications.
The construction industry in the United States getting hit with both higher costs and a labor shortage. Ken Simonson, chief economist with the Associated General Contractors of America, tells KMOX.
Costs have really shot up lately for steel, aluminum, copper, and lumber. Not coincidentally, all of those are subject to dramatic new tariff rates.
Simonson says there appears to be a big drop-off in the overall number of construction projects underway. He points out that in turn is impacting construction employment.
The business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. 5 St. Louisans made the latest Forbes list of the 400 richest Americans. Coming in at 98 is worldwide technology founder David Stewart, reportedly worth $12.4 billion. Pauline McMillan Kyneth, great-granddaughter of the founder of Cargill, is 158th. Jim Kavanaugh of Worldwide Technology, 187th. Jack Dorsey of Twitter and Square is 270th. At 352 is Roger Riney, who founded Scott Trade.
It's now 7:08. We'll check traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more, all in a relaxed environment that's like being in the man cave. At Game Day, you get a free testosterone test and consultation all in just an hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with 3 area locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of 2 things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. It is 7:10 on this Friday morning, September 12th. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, traffic's looking good for us right now, Debbie, as you head out onto the highways. Northbound 55 down south, approaching 61 through McNutt, north of Bales up to River de Pere, the work zone stuff. Not an issue. 270 at Ladue, still good to go. If you're out west through the Winghaven area, things are fine coming in on 64 or 70. Now, downtown, they do have the left lane closed between Jefferson and the last Missouri exit, but again, not enough volume to slow you down. The only trouble spot we have right now is on westbound 64. We do have a crash with lane blockage westbound 64. East of 159, traffic's back to Pott, exit 14 at Highway 50 there at O'Fallon, Fairview Heights. So that's the only jam we have and the only really delay we have on the interstates. And, of course, there's roadwork delays southbound Route 3 from 270 most of the way down to West Pontoon on the Illinois side as well. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, mostly sunny today. It'll be hot with a high of 95, then mainly clear and warm with a low of 71 tonight. Very hot with sun and some clouds and a high of 98 tomorrow. The record is 100, high 96 and partly sunny on Sunday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Looks like the sun's starting to come up. We've got 64 degrees in Florissant, 60 in St. Peters, 64 downtown at the Arch.
I'm Joe Pott. Mizzou back at home tomorrow. They've got an early kickoff. I got more coming up in sports.
It is 7:12 and the news continues. The Gateway Arch National Park will be celebrating its 60th anniversary in October. The iconic structure has been woven into the identity of many of our region's businesses and organizations through their branding, and the Gateway Arch National Park wants to feature those in an upcoming exhibit.
The Arch is so much part of the DNA of this region that local businesses have taken pride in putting the Arch either in their marketing materials or even in their logos.
John Orrell, Public Affairs Officer at the Gateway Arch National Park, says you have until September 19th to submit your designs online at gatewayarch.com. 2 vacant lots on Broadway will become the next pocket parks in the city of St. Louis.
A pocket park is exactly what it sounds like. It's a small park, usually in an urban setting.
Samantha Smugala with the group Pocket Parks says the 2 new pocket parks will be in the Baden neighborhood in North City and the Marine Villa neighborhood in South City.
They really build community. They help with safety and security. The more people that are around the space, the safer it is. And it can even lead to some organic traction and economic development and more people wanting to be in that space.
Pocket Parks is teaming up with the STL Vacancy Collaborative. Volunteers are invited to help prepare garden beds, plant, and water in Marine Villa on September 20th and Baden on October 11th.
More than 100 youth athletes with disabilities will be in St. Louis this weekend for a unique baseball experience. They are participating in the Miracle League All-Star Game at the YMCA Adaptive Sports Complex, a barrier-free baseball complex.
Every kid gets their own walk-up music, gets to see their picture on the scoreboard, and then is assigned what we call an able-bodied buddy. So a buddy could be a teenager or it could be an adult who really helps that child one-on-one participate in the game of baseball.
Tim Helm, president and CEO of the Gateway Region YMCA, says staff has been planning this event for 2 years. Fundraising efforts mean that hotel stays, transportation, and meals are all paid for all families.
Transley can't clear it. Bozak in front. They score! Schwartz tipped it in! I do not believe it!
Former St. Louis Blues announcer John Kelly is heading to the West Coast. The Los Angeles Kings announcing Kelly will be their new television play-by-play voice, joining analyst Jim Fox in the booth. Kelly's departure from St. Louis was announced in July, with the Blues opting to simulcast their radio broadcast on television for the upcoming season. Well, speaking of sports, it's time for that. It's 7:15.
25th ranked Mizzou is at home tomorrow. They'll face the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns at Faurot Field. Mizzou is 2-0 following home wins against Central Arkansas and KU. Louisiana is 1-1. That follows an opening week loss against Rice and a win last week against McNeese State. Tigers head coach Eli Drinkowitz spoke in his weekly press conference earlier this week, and he said the Tigers are going to have to deal with Louisiana's defensive front.
You know, ULL is a really good football team. They got 9 returning starters. They won 10 games last year, played for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Last year, beat a Power 4 team in the regular season. You know, I think defensively, the strength of their team is with their defensive line. And, you know, with as much pressure as we allowed and sacks as we allowed with our quarterback and our inability to gain short yardage in critical situations, I think it's going to be a real challenge for our team to improve in that way.
That's Eli Drinkowitz on his in his weekly press conference. That's courtesy of MUTigers.com. Now, that game was originally scheduled for 3 o'clock tomorrow. That kickoff has been moved to noon at Faurot Field. That is due to the heat. 9th ranked Fighting Illini. They look to improve to 3-0. They're at home to face Western Michigan tomorrow in Champaign. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff at Memorial Stadium. Tonight, the Cardinals open a series in Milwaukee. It's the first of 2 consecutive weekend series between the Cards and the Brewers as Milwaukee comes here to Busch Stadium next weekend. The Brewers open this weekend series with baseball's best record. They'll become the first team to 90 wins with a win tonight. Andre Palante, well, he's our player to bank on. It's brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. The right-hander makes his 29th start tonight. He's looking for his first win since the end of July when he tossed 7 innings against the Marlins. He went 0-6 in August with an earned run average of nearly 9. His last start came Saturday against the Giants at Busch Stadium. He tossed 6 innings and allowed 2 runs, did not figure into the decision. That was the game the Cardinals won on a Jordan Walker walk-off hit. Overall, Palante is 6-13 with a 4.29 ERA. He's thrown a career-best 150 innings. He's got a career-high 104 strikeouts this year. Palante has faced the Brewers 14 times in his career, and he's made 2 previous starts. He started June 14th of this year at American Family Field. He worked 4 1/3 innings while allowing 4 runs without a decision. He's 0-1 lifetime against the Brewers. Quinn Priester throws for the Brewers tonight. He's 12-2 with a 3.25 ERA this year. 26 appearances overall, 21 starts, and both of those are career highs for Priester. He's faced the Cardinals twice this season, gave up 5 runs to the Redbirds in 5 innings in April. He did not get a decision in that game. In June, he got a win, allowing a run over 6 innings in a game in Milwaukee. First pitch tonight is 7:10. Ameren Total Access gets started at 6:15. Next sports update is 7:45 rather. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
Now, the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20. Let's see how things are rolling for you on this Friday morning and get you to work safely. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it looks good on the highways for the most part, Megan. I mean, it's a little busy every once in a while. The only place we have trouble is on westbound 64 Metro East, a crash. Westbound 64 East of 159, the left lane shut down. Traffic's backed up through the Highway 50 exit, so it's like a little bit more than midway back to Greenmount Road, westbound 64. So the jam slowly building. Not a lot of volume on a Friday, so it's not getting all that bad all that quickly, but it is heavier than it was 10 minutes ago, certainly. Southbound 270, Ladue down to 64 is a little slow. Eastbound 64, seeing a little slow pocket east of about midway in between Winghaven and Highway K, maybe a quarter or third of a mile of a slowdown there. Otherwise, the rest of these area highways look good for you. It looks like the delays northbound 21 through Merrimack Bottom and Hickman are gone. Eastbound 30 looks just kind of busy east of West Watson up the hill to 270. So, again, not terrible for you on that run either. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's just going to be very hot for the next 5 days. And today it'll be 95, tomorrow 98, 96 on Sunday, 94 on Monday, 96 on Tuesday. Currently in downtown St. Louis, we've got some sunshine and 63 degrees.
And the weather is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The news continues at 7:22. The Associated Press and CBS News are now reporting that President Trump says, with a high degree of certainty, the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing has been caught.
Kirk's murder has also had a chilling effect on members of Congress on both sides of the political aisle, ratcheting up fears for their safety and that of their colleagues.
This assassination will certainly leave a huge hole in the fabric of the conservative movement.
Congress's top Democrats are calling for unity as the left comes under attack over Charlie Kirk's killing. In the Oval Office, President Trump said it's time to stop demonizing political opponents. But
for years, those on the radical left
have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
The message today from top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries.
We need to come together as Americans.
And Senate counterpart Chuck Schumer.
Political violence is the enemy of democracy.
Who notes attacks on Republicans and Democrats alike.
There should be no finger pointing.
Not long before Schumer was on the Senate floor in the other chamber.
Some of the American left are undoubtedly well-meaning people, but their ideology is pure evil. They hate the good, the truth, and the beautiful, and embrace the evil, the false, and the ugly. And they literally will kill those with whom they disagree, just as their predecessor, leftist Marx and Stalin and Lenin and Pol Pot and Fidel Castro did.
To assume and assert and cast blame when the FBI has failed to even apprehend the assailant is absolutely an irresponsible action.
It is part of a disturbing trend in political violence in our country, encouraged by the radical left.
Rather, Illinois Republican Mary Miller says Kirk's murder is part of a trend of political violence.
And amplified by a corrupt media that has gone from being fake to totally evil.
House Speaker Mike Johnson's trying to lower the temperature.
This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are. It violates the core principles of our country, our Judeo-Christian heritage, our civil society, our American way of life, and it must stop.
Somebody who's arguing the other side of an issue is not your enemy. They're your fellow American.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
KMOX walked the streets to find out how St. Louisans are feeling about Charlie Kirk's death and what his public murder says about America right now.
You got to think twice before throwing your hat into that ring because you're basically putting a big target on your back, right? And it just seems, the more publicity you get, the larger that target gets.
No comment. I'm sad. That's all.
I really don't care, to be honest. Don't really care. That's about it.
What does it mean for America right now that someone can be assassinated for what they believe in like that?
It's happened to Democrats too.
It's just sadness for the country. That's about it. I mean, that's all I can say about it. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
Sad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, that's the way the world is heading, though.
I'm saddened. My heart's broken. He was freedom of speech, and to be assassinated for freedom of speech, I think he deserves a monument in Washington.
Again, President Trump says with a high degree of certainty the suspect in the Charlie Kirk killing has been caught. We'll get more for you from CBS News coming up.
It's 7:26.
New ER questions? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. People who show up at emergency rooms in California could soon be asked more about their vaccine history.
There are a lot of people who use the emergency room whenever they need any type of medical care because they don't have a primary care physician.
Basically, people who are uninsured, a lot of homeless persons, immigrants, and other groups that really don't have primary care.
UC Riverside School of Medicine's Dr. Robert Rodriguez says as a result, half of those people aren't knowledgeable about the vaccines they need and don't get them. He led a study questioning emergency room patients with non-critical conditions to find out what they know about vaccines.
The vast majority, really 86%, were missing vaccines, and about half of those would accept vaccines.
He's hoping to put this information to use to encourage emergency rooms to educate their patients about vaccines and to offer questionnaires to facilitate this, with the end result
to get more people that are underserved opportunities to get vaccinated.
He hopes to get the process automated so patients can easily access a questionnaire.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
The time is 7:27, and that time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is Megan Lynch. If your family has cared for a loved one with Alzheimer's, in the back of your mind, you may be wondering if you're in line to develop either Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. At last year's St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's, I met many families who not only walk to support someone they care about, but they also walk to make a difference for future generations. They raised more than $1.3 million for Alzheimer's care, support, and research programs at last year's walk. So I hope you'll join me this year. It's Saturday, October 25th at Chesterfield Amphitheater and Central Park. In the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the moment that we have to do this. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and all other dementia, now is the time for hope as well and the time for action. Join the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's. Again, it's Saturday, October 25th at Chesterfield Amphitheater. Help us see a world without Alzheimer's. Register today at alz.org/walk. That's alz.org/walk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007 now.
It is 7:30. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. And let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our trouble in Metro East, Megan. Westbound 64 east of 159. We have that crash with the left lane shut down. Traffic's jammed more than midway back to Greenmount Road. If you're coming in through Fairview Heights right now, just be prepared. Westbound 5570, you've got the roadwork slowed down now. Enough volume going on. 111 most of the way into 203 is pretty busy, but you get past that point, you'll good across the bridges. Southbound Route 3, the busiest stretch of roadwork delays south of 270 down to West Pontoon Road right now. Northbound 270 seeing more volume, approaching 44, approaching Manchester. Southbound 270, Olive down to Ladue is heavy. Eastbound 64 is slow down east of Winghaven. There's a slowdown through Clarkson and at the Interbelt. Northbound 55, you've got some traffic backing up just briefly between Bayless and River to Paris. Also a little slow approaching 44. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Our forecast is just really hot all the way through at least Tuesday. Today, we're going to be at 95 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow, 98. Right now, we have clear skies and 63 degrees at 7:31.
CBS News special report. President Trump says a suspect is in custody in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him.
The president tells Fox.
Somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father.
Mr. Trump revealing.
But was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it.
No word exactly on when or where all of this took place. We're expecting more details in a news conference in half an hour. Last night, the FBI released enhanced photos of the suspect, as well as new surveillance footage showing him jumping off the roof of a building at Utah Valley University, where Kirk was killed during an outdoor appearance Wednesday. CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
It's 7:32. A local food pantry facing a food shortage. Its reserve shelves are nearly empty.
This is Stuart McMillan. I stood among the hustle and bustle of the Gateway Food Pantry in Arnold on Distribution Day, where Director Patrick McKelvey says they serve up to 250 families. A long line of vehicles form around the building as volunteers roll carts out to place food in those vehicles.
Our biggest client demographic here is 5 through 18. Those are school-age children. So I always tell people, one, you can always call your local pantry and ask them what they need. Everyone has different needs.
Right now, the need is more food. And while families suffer from rising costs at the grocery stores and inflation, it hurts those trying to donate as well. That's evident when you look around the reserve shelves at Gateway Food Pantry.
Fortunately, my pantry is in a position that we've increased our food purchasing budget. We've quadrupled it from where it was last year. Now quadrupled it.
That seems like a pretty big jump. Is it just because of inflation and the prices of groceries?
So it's just what we have to do to keep up. We've had a $300,000 loss from our largest food source of food coming into the pantry. So when that happens, you can give up, you can give your clients less food, or you can go out to your community and ask for help.
McKelvey says the pantry is delivering empty bags to 20,000 households as a plea for donations.
The Board of Aldermen will return to session today after summer recess with the zoning code an early priority.
Our zoning code in the city of St. Louis is 70 years old.
Aldermanic President Megan Green, she explains the importance of updating the city's code.
It makes it difficult to build density in our city. And, we know that we need to increase our population.
Green points to allocating more RAMS money to tornado relief and streamlining the city's development process as other early priorities. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got your money report coming up. It's 7:34.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise. But the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies. 314-991-9005 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It is going on 7:36. This is Total Information AM and time for your money report. It's sponsored for you this hour by Busey Bank.
Good morning. Boeing is behind schedule in its efforts to get its 777X jet certified by regulators this year. The program is already 6 years late. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg told a Morgan Stanley conference that the test flights have not turned up any new technical issues, but there is still a mountain of work to be done before the plane can be certified. A vote to confirm President Trump's nomination of Stephen Miron as Federal Reserve Governor is expected in the Senate on Monday. That would mean Miron could take part in the Fed policy meeting that begins on Tuesday. And the new Apple Watches that go on sale next week will be able to monitor the user's blood pressure. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the hypertension detection system. Apple says the tool will use data from the watch's heart sensor to perform an analysis. The user will be notified of any signs of chronic hypertension. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
When we started NeoVitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our NeoVitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovite Original Formula Multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Charlie Brennan once again with Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler, is it possible we might say, oh, those kids are mumbling, when the problem really is our own inability to hear?
Exactly. Hearing is integral in everything that we do. It keeps us involved and embraced in life. Not hearing someone is never normal. Ringing in the ears is never normal. And when people have a hearing loss, oftentimes they complain that they can hear, but they cannot understand people. And avoiding getting a hearing aid can have long-term effects on the speech reception area of the brain. So what that means is if you test and treat the hearing loss early with a hearing aid, we can prevent a decline in the speech understanding that can happen if the hearing loss goes untreated.
The words of Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. 3 locations in St. Louis, 636-441-7470, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Fridays mean football. From the zoo to the NFL, we've got your weekend covered.
All 3, ready?
It's Friday football on KMOX.
It is 7:40 and it's a Friday morning, so let's get you to work and get this work week over with. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Now, at least it's starting pretty well. I mean, it's slow going out there, but better than a lot of mornings, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living northbound 270 is slow now. North of the Sappington Road overpass to 44, Big Bend up to Manchester. Southbound, a little busy past 364, and then Olive down through Ladue. Eastbound Highway 70, Lake St. Louis into Highway K is a little heavy. Earth City and toward the Rock Road, there's some slow stuff. Seeing a backup, southbound 141 from Olive down toward Ladue. Closer to 64, not as bad. Eastbound 64, out west we're okay. It's slow through the Chesterfield Parkways, a little slow down at Ballas and just right at the Interbelt through Big Bend. South 170, bogged down to the Parkway. Westbound 64, Bellevue through Hanley's a little heavy. Northbound 55, Bayless up the river to Pears slow. We look good at the Poplar, 5570 westbound, west of 111, headed into 203. Have a roadwork delay, and we still have this crash on westbound 64 in the left lane east of 159. Traffic's jammed just west of Greenmount Road up to that one. Next update at 7:50 for the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
It is 7:41 and time to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Heather Zaire. And I am just putting in a request for fall weather, Heather.
Certainly had a nice stretch of it recently, but yeah, man, is it giving way to completely a summer forecast here. And that's going to stick around right through the weekend and on into at least the start of next week. Mostly sunny and hot with a high of 95 for today. The record is 98. And then we stay warm tonight. Not much relief there, mainly clear with a low of 71. Sun and some clouds with a high of 98 tomorrow. The record is 100. And we'll be still talking topping out at 96 despite partly sunny skies on Sunday. A mix of clouds and sun with a high of 94 on Monday, then 96 again on Tuesday. Sun and some clouds, and that'll be some of the closest we get to a record, where the record is 98. 63 in St. Peter's, 66 in Florissant, and 69 downtown at the Arch right now. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. Busy weekend of St. Louis sports. I've got you covered straight ahead.
More news now at 7:42. The film Downton Abbey, the grand finale, hits theaters today. Entertainment reporter Matt Wolf has more on the latest installment of the British historical drama.
Don't you see what this means for Downton?
Downton Abbey, the grand finale, being billed as the final chapter in the beloved TV and film series, has the entire original cast in place, with the exception of the iconic Dame Maggie Smith.
Who pays for it? Oh, good. Let's talk about money.
Her presence was really felt.
Lady Mary Michelle Dockery says the Dowager Countess still very much a part of Downton.
She's talked about a lot in the film, and we were so fortunate to have worked with her for such a long time.
Matt Wolf, CBS News.
I can't burn you a flame right now. I can't burn you a flame right now. I'm too busy.
Country queen and sitcom favorite Reba McEntire is getting a major salute. The Paley Center for Media just announced she'll receive the 2025 Paley Honors Award at their star-studded gala November 10th in Beverly Hills. From Grammy-winning hits to her classic sitcom Reba to NBC's Happy's Place, Reba says she's grateful for every opportunity, and fans everywhere are cheering for this living legend.
More and more people these days are dating robots.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
The 2013 movie Her was about a man who gets into a relationship with an AI operator. That was 12 years ago. UW Milwaukee professor Lana Lastadius says as technology has advanced, so have these chatbots.
People are looking for companionship, and companion AI is one potential source of that emotional support.
But what happens when things go even further?
Wish I could touch you.
A new study from datingadvice.com and the Kinsey Institute found 61% of singles say having a romantic relationship with an AI companion equals infidelity. These technology-based connections can feel intimate enough to pose a real threat to their relationships. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
All right, dating a robot. Welcome to 2025. It is 7:45.
Tomorrow night, St. Louis City on the road. They'll face Montreal. City searching for its first win in a month. Last taking all 3 points in a match against Nashville on August 9th. Most recently, City tied Dallas 1-1 last Saturday at Energizer Park. St. Louis is 14th in the West with 22 points. City is 5-17-7. Montreal hasn't played a game since a 1-1 draw with Toronto on August 30th and is 14th in the Eastern Conference with 24 points. Montreal is 5-15-9. Kickoff tomorrow night is 6:30 with pregame coming at 6:15 on our sister station, that is, Y98. Thursday night football last night, the Packers beat the Commanders in Green Bay 27-18.
Jacobs is the running back on a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Off the fake, pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
Thursday night football on Prime there. That's one of 2 touchdowns Packers quarterback Jordan Love threw. He went for 292 yards and the 2 scores in the win, which moved Green Bay to 2-0 on the year. Jaden Daniels threw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the loss. Washington fell to 1-1. Well, tonight the Cardinals open a series in Milwaukee. It's the first of 2 consecutive weekend series between the Cards and the Brewers. Milwaukee will come to St. Louis next weekend for a series at Busch Stadium. Andre Palante starts tonight. He'll make his 29th start of the year, looking for his first win since beating the Marlins back in July. He went 0-6 in the month of August and had an ERA of almost 9. His last start came Saturday against the Giants when he tossed 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, did not figure into the decision in that game as the Cardinals won on a walk-off hit. Overall, he's 6-13 with a 4.29 ERA. He's thrown a career-high 150 innings, and he has struck out a career-best 104 batters this year compared to just 52 walks. Palante has faced the Brewers 14 times in his career, but he has only made 2 previous starts, and one of them came this year. June 14th at American Family Field in Milwaukee, he worked 4 1/3 innings and he allowed 4 runs. No decision in that game. He's 0-1 with a 5.3 ERA lifetime against the Brewers. Quinn Priester throws for the Brewers tonight. He's 12-2 this year with a 3.25 ERA, 26 appearances overall, 21 starts, both career highs. Priester has faced the Cardinals twice already this year. He gave up 5 runs in a start at Busch Stadium in April, and then faced the Cardinals again in Milwaukee in June. He allowed a run over 6 innings in a game he did get the win in Milwaukee. Brewers open the weekend series, 89 total wins. They'll be the first to 90 when they get there. And first pitch tonight comes at 7:10, pregame at 6:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
At Tax Relief Advocates, we get it. Thinking about back taxes to the IRS can be very unsettling. Don't lose hope. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, TRA is resolving taxpayers' delinquent tax problems nationwide once and for all. We could significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe the IRS. If you haven't filed your taxes in years or are already facing collections, we can help. We aren't just some run-of-the-mill tax service company. We specialize in helping individuals and businesses with $10,000, $50,000, or even $500,000 in back taxes get speedy resolution. And in many cases, only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. The IRS isn't going anywhere, and neither is your tax problem. To see what tax relief you qualify for, visit TRA.com or call 800-335-8578. 800-335-8578. Again, that's 800-335-8578. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's back, and you're invited to join us in Forest Park, September 19th and 20th, for the 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Special thanks to New Ground International and Blue Moon Brewing Company. The 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend. For more details, visit the events page at KMOX.com.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:50. You're listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Megan Lynch and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news in Metro East, Debbie. They just cleared that crash we had on westbound 64 East at 159 about 3 minutes ago, something like that. So lanes are open. There's still a backup, though, from by Greenmount Road, most of the way into that point just east of 159. The roadwork delay is pretty minimal now. Westbound 5570, just slow down west of 111, midway to 203. So, again, that's looking better than it did. Northbound 55, a little busy, Bayless to River to Pear. If you're on North 270, through Gravois, both sides, north of 44 up to Manchester, and then 64 to Ladue, slow south 270 from 364 all the way down to Ladue. That's heavy. Eastbound 64, delays through the Chesterfield Parkways, and then again right at the Interbelt to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker to Big Bend's heavy. South 170 bogs down at the Parkway. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis and through Highway K is slow. East of the Blanchette Bridge into 270, there's some busy traffic there right now as well. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny and hot today, a high 95. Clear and warm tonight, an overnight low of 71. And then even hotter tomorrow, a high of 98 expected. Right now, we have sunshine, 61 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:51. President Trump says with a high degree of certainty that the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing has been caught. Trump made that announcement this morning on Fox News. Federal and Utah state investigators had been appealing for the public's help in finding the person who shot conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI has called a news conference for the top of the hour, and we'll have the latest for you here on KMOX.
A number of public officials have expressed concern about security following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he has no plans to change his routine, including appearing at outdoor events.
You can't give in to the violence. I mean, you just can't. If we all retreat into our private spaces and close our doors and stay behind locked doors and windows and gates, I mean, we need the opposite of that.
Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has canceled a rally for tonight due to security concerns, while Republican Representative Nancy Mace said she's going to double down on her beliefs and start carrying a firearm.
Senate Democrats want executives from J.P. Morgan Chase to testify about their ties to Jeffrey Epstein. We get more from CBS's Michael Wallace.
The Democrats want to know why the bank kept Epstein as a client for 15 years and what they knew about his crimes. The Wall Street Journal reports the sex offender had dozens of accounts at J.P. Morgan and communicated often with its executives. The bank says it was a mistake to have any association with Epstein, and it fired him as a client in 2013. 6 years before he was arrested on sex trafficking charges. J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says he never met Epstein.
J.P. Morgan Chase has agreed to $365 million in settlements with Epstein victims who sued the bank for keeping him as a client after compliance officers raised concerns.
Chicago's Hispanic community wrestling with how to celebrate Mexican Independence Day this weekend after the Department of Homeland Security launched an operation it calls Operation Midway Blitz to crack down on undocumented immigrants in the city.
This year, the stakes are higher. Our community is under attack.
City of Chicago leaders say they are keeping a close eye on a number of events planned throughout the city for this weekend. That includes several Mexican Independence Day festivals, parades, and as the city has seen in recent years, potential for car caravans. Some organizers have opted to cancel their events, citing an expected increase in ICE presence. Others are promising historic turnouts.
They are trying to dim our light. They're trying to dim our culture.
Andy Dane for CBS News, Chicago.
St. Louis County will officially recognize Hispanic Heritage Month today with the raising of a flag in Memorial Park. The flag was designed by artist Jose Garza in collaboration with the Hispanic Festival, the Regional Arts Commission, and the Latinx Arts Network. That event takes place this morning at 11:30.
It's now 7:54.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri for 2025. Every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Must be within 125 miles. That means complimentary pickup and delivery plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. They make it so easy for you. Schedule it all easily online with Genesis of St. Charles at genesisofstcharles.com. Go visit them. You can buy online and let them deliver for you, or you can go see them at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Luxury service at a state-of-the-art facility that's in St. Peters off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership is Genesis of St. Charles. Online at genesisofstcharles.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
I'm Larry Magid with the Connect Safely report. A new study sheds light on the link between excessive video game usage and mental health. Researchers tracked nearly 4,300 preteens and teens for 4 years to see if mental health issues led to gaming disorder, or if problematic gaming is a symptom of existing mental health issues. The study's results, reports Connect Safely Education Director Carrie Gallagher,
were clear and consistent. Kids who are already having depressive symptoms and social issues were more likely to get caught up in the cycle of problematic gaming. For these kids, gaming became an unhealthy coping mechanism.
and if you have a child or teen who you feel is obsessively playing video games,
researchers suggest talking to your child's pediatrician and therapist to find out more about their underlying health.
more at connectsafely.org/radio. With the Connect Safely report, I'm Larry Magid for CBS News.
It's 7:58. Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're moving pretty well most of the morning, Megan. If you're heading out the door onto the highways, it hasn't been too terrible. The only place we had troubles was westbound 64 east to Greenmount, westbound 64 east to 159, rather. They said the crash is cleared, but I'm still seeing a jam in the area there on westbound 64, so be prepared. It is not thinned out yet. I had a message from IDOT like 15 minutes ago. They had that cleared. Northbound 270, there's heavy pockets from Gravois all the way up through Manchester. South 270, south of 364 down to Ladou's busy. Eastbound 64 slow. Clarkson midway into Timberlake. A couple of spots east of Lindbergh where it's a little heavy through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinker headed out through Big Bend is heavy. Southbound 170, a couple of spots. Delmar down to 64 where it's a little slow. Southbound Route 3 midway between 270 and West Pontoon. Roadwork delays. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:59 on this Friday, September 12th. I'm Debbie Monterrey, and breaking in the past hour, President Trump said with a high degree of certainty a suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination is in custody.
The president says he's sending National Guard troops to Memphis.
Hyundai says last week's immigration raid will delay construction of its Georgia battery plant by 3 months.
There's been a steep decline in trust in the CDC among St. Louisans in the past few months.
A food pantry in Arnold makes a plea for donations as reserve shelves are nearly empty.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Hot today. We'll have sunshine and a high of 95 degrees.
A planned news conference about the Charlie Kirk developments is expected in a half hour.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump says a suspect is now in custody in Wednesday's assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him.
The president revealed the news in person in an appearance on Fox and Friends.
Somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father.
The president says it was a person of faith who brought the suspect to a U.S. Marshal. Correspondent Weijia Jiang.
This pastor saw all the images that we were watching and then reported it to somebody. And the president said he found out about this about 5 minutes before he went on set here in New York City.
Last night, the FBI released enhanced images and video of the suspect jumping from a building at Utah Valley University. We expect more details in a news conference in half an hour. President Trump also announced on Fox he's sending the National Guard into a city in the South to fight crime.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
that's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. And the governor, Tennessee. The governor is happy.
Mayor Paul Young, the Democrat, the governor Bill Lee, a Republican. President Trump vows to clean up the city just like, quote, we did in Washington. He says he would have preferred to send troops into Chicago next, where local politicians have resisted his plans. We're just in from overseas. France says it's deploying fighter jets to Poland, and the UK has announced new sanctions against Russia after drones strayed across the Ukrainian border this week. Hyundai says last week's immigration raid at its Georgia Georgia battery plant will delay construction by 3 months.
475 construction workers, many of them undocumented South Koreans, were rounded up, leaving the project short of manpower. More than 300 of those workers were welcomed with applause when they arrived at an airport near Seoul, a day after the U.S. and South Korea reached a deal to release them from ICE custody. A poll found 60% of South Koreans believe the ICE enforcement action was excessive. South Korean officials say the crackdown could chill the nation's investments in the U.S. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
An update now on some hockey players facing serious charges.
The National Hockey League says the 5 players acquitted of sexual assault charges related to a 2018 incident will be able to sign contracts and play in the upcoming season. The move comes about 7 weeks after the 5 were found not guilty by a judge in London, Ontario.
CBS's Jim Krasula. Dow futures down 104. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies and 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, September 12th. The news sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch. Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley says he's encouraged by news of a tentative deal between Boeing and roughly 3,200 striking union workers at 3 of its plants in the St. Louis area.
I want to see what the workers have to say about it. They're the most important voice in this, obviously, because they're the foundation of the company. I've said this now for a long time. The C-suite at Boeing, all those executives, they got paid like unbelievable. They made out like bandits while they strip mined that company. That was so wrong. They need to do right by their workers.
Members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers will start voting this hour on the new 5-year contract offer. It includes restored signing bonuses and an average wage increase of 45%. The former Speaker of the Missouri House is pleading guilty to hundreds of thousands of dollars of pandemic loan fraud.
Jeeps, Teslas, Audis, country club fees, credit cards, his mortgage, college tuition for a family member, pool maintenance, and more. That's what former Missouri House Speaker John Deal pled guilty to fraudulently using COVID relief funds towards instead of his business as it was intended. According to prosecutors, he defrauded the federal government of $379,000 of money through the CARES Act from the Small Business Administration. Deal is set to be sentenced on December 19th. He faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Outside the federal courthouse, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri Congressman Emanuel Cleaver made a special trip to Jefferson City yesterday to speak out against a proposed congressional map that state lawmakers are considering. The new map puts Cleaver's seat at risk because the proposed map would split Kansas City into 3 districts and stretch his current district deep into rural Republican territory, dramatically weakening Democratic voting strength. After testifying to a Senate committee, he told reporters he never gets involved in the efforts of people trying to get the attention of the General Assembly.
This may be far more monumental than we know, and so long after I'm gone, people here are going to feel the effects of the decision made by the General Assembly. I am aware that there are a lot of moving parts to the opposition.
Cleaver says legal challenges, including lawsuits from the NAACP, are already in motion as lawmakers prepare to take final votes Friday on the redistricting bill and a proposal that would raise the threshold for citizen-led ballot measures becoming law. The St. Louis City Board of Aldermen set to follow St. Charles County when they return to session today. Aldermanic President Megan Green says they will be tackling data centers early on.
Zoning rules and regulations to mitigate environmental impact, to mitigate any strain on our electrical grid, to make sure that these developments work for our community.
Earlier this week, the city's planning commission recommended the board put in a 1-year moratorium on new data centers or until they create those regulations. Green also says modernizing the city's zoning code and charter are other priorities. St. Louis County adding extra office hours to help seniors with questions about the senior tax freeze application. The deadline for applying is September 30th. Next week, the county's Department of Revenue satellite offices in Chesterfield, South County, and St. Anne will be open from 8 to 4:30. The final walk-in clients will be taken at 4. The county will also be sending out postcards next week to seniors whose applications are incomplete. That's approximately 11,800 applications. A steep decline in trust in the CDC among St. Louisans the last few months.
That's according to an ongoing public health monitoring program out of Washington University. And the numbers are steep among men and older adults. Participants were specifically asked about the CDC on flu vaccinations. In June, 71% of St. Louis adults agreed the CDC is prepared to respond to the flu. By September, that number had fallen to 56%. The percentage of residents who felt the CDC's flu response was in their best interest dropped from 78 to 61%. One of the researchers reflects on these numbers, saying it shows how quickly public trust can shift. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, a credit union that's been growing its presence in St. Louis, recently announced a sponsorship and lease agreement with the University of Missouri, St. Louis. Community America Credit Union will pay UMSL $500,000. They'll open a branch on campus, but also sponsor and develop financial education initiatives, working with the UMSL Center for Excellence in Financial Counseling. That's according to the Business Journal. It's now 8:08. We'll get a check of traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's now 8:10. Let's see how things are going. It has been a fairly easy morning this morning on the roads. Roger Brand has the latest update, though, from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, there hasn't been much to complain about, that's for sure, Megan. It's been pretty easy going pretty much everywhere you look around the area. Lindbergh at New Florissant, they're doing some road work in the left lane. I don't think that's causing too much of a problem interstate-wise. We're still busy on North 270, Big Bend up to Manchester. Northbound 55 is cleared out all the way in from Festus to downtown. If you're on eastbound 64, it's just a little busy, 170 into about Big Bend. South 170, a couple of spots between Delmar and 64 where it slows briefly. Westbound 64 around Big Bend's a little crowded. Downtown, that road work I was talking about earlier, eastbound 64, where that left lane's closed up past Union Station. We have a jam back through Jefferson there on eastbound 64. And westbound 64 is finally back open through 159, just a little busy at 159 itself. But west of there, it's a good run across those bridges. Still seeing, they're working at multiple locations. The biggest delays on Route 3 southbound are south of 270 down to West Pontoon. But there's a couple of spots all the way down to Broadway near the McKinley Bridge in Granite City where paving work's been underway for a good chunk of this summer. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Checking that forecast for today, it's going to be mostly sunny and hot. In fact, so hot that we may get close to a record of 98 set in 1956. Clear and warm tonight. The overnight low only dipping down to around 70 degrees. Sunny and partly cloudy, very hot tomorrow with a high of 98. And much the same on Sunday. Sunny, hot, a high 96. Currently, we do have sunny skies, 67 degrees in Florissant, 64 in St. Peters, and 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. A new study reveals that less than half of residents in St. Louis City, especially in North St. Louis, live within walking distance of fresh food, public transit, or green space. Joining me now is Dr. Rodrigo Reese, professor of public health at Washington University and the senior investigator on this study of livability. Dr. Reese, thank you so much for being with me this morning.
Thank you, Megan. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
How should we define livability?
Well, that's a very good question. There are many ways we can define that, but the simplest way for us to define is, living in a place where we have all the conditions and access to features and things that will make your life better. So that's a broad definition, I know, but that includes transportation, access to healthy food, access to jobs, and a combination of social and built environment conditions.
So in looking at a city as diverse as St. Louis, how did you measure those factors?
Again, you are very good at questioning. And then, so the way we did this, we divided in two components. One is a spatial component. So we used built environment features that are accessible through satellite images. We use Google Images and other, GIS or geographic-based information to develop indicators. So that's one way we did that. So we measured the distance, the quantity, and the density of different features. And the other component we actually tracked policies that are informing those features around transportation, access to places, healthy food environments, for instance, and public transit, and so. So we had a component on policy indicators. We tracked 32 different indicators for policies and also indicators for spatial access and spatial conditions.
Let's start out with the positive. What does St. Louis do well?
Well, that's a very, very important point. We want St. Louisians to think there are many assets and features in the city that we have that work towards our advantage, for living conditions. So we are above the median for compared to other cities for walkability. We have great access compared to other cities to green spaces. So in terms of parks and walkability, we're doing much better than many cities. This is part of an international project. We have cities across the globe, and we compare St. Louis with other cities. So compared to other cities, we are doing well in terms of those aspects.
I thought it was really interesting when it comes to, for example, the public policies that St. Louis has in place. We're not necessarily doing too bad. It's just that we lack some targets or ways to measure this. Is that a pretty easy fix?
Well, it is somehow easy. So you made a very good point, and I'm glad you highlighted that. So among the 32 indicators, we actually have most of the policy. For most indicators, we have policies in place. So it's not an absence of policies. We have those, but it's actually the quality of those policies to inform changes. I'll give you one example, then I can finalize and answer your question. So we have policies for streets. We don't have policies for street connectivity requirements, for instance, but we have policies for park restrictions. But we don't have targets that we should be achieving. We have policies for cycling participation, but we don't have targets for those to be achieved. So we don't need only policies in place. We need those policies to be looking forward to achieve something that is beneficial for the population, and they can be measured. So that's a somehow easier fix because we have policies in place. We just have to make them a little better.
Dr. Reese, are you hopeful when we look at things like, for example, the city looking at zoning rules and wanting to bring some of these things up to date? What kind of conversations need to happen to really put those metrics and targets in place?
Well, the first, one we are doing already. One of the things is providing evidence. So my role as a professor and scientist is providing the best evidence available. That's not enough. We have to listen to our community to see, among those recommendations, which recommendations are the ones they most need as well. So engaging community, engaging academia, and all stakeholders in places, business owners, the community at large, to consider those recommendations and maybe prioritize them. So that's an important aspect. So combining the best available evidence, the community requirements and engagements, and stakeholders in the region that will be benefiting from those, I think that's the first starting point. Because we already have a very good place to start. We are providing a framework for many stakeholders and community members to think about what are the most important needs they can achieve in the immediate future.
When I look at this figure that less than half of the population in St. Louis, especially in some areas of St. Louis, have adequate access to either public transit and or fresh food markets, that's something that seems very critical. So how do city leaders institute changes quickly to try to solve those issues?
Well, quickly is a very, very complicated action to take, but we have to put in motion things, then they can be implemented as fast as possible. The first one is identifying where we need things to be changed. So what we are doing here is identifying areas that need most those aspects. For instance, access to nutrition, to proper, healthy foods outlets. So that's the first one. So identify the areas. The second one, defining targets. So what do we want to put in place? And the third one is understanding the social and economic conditions in that area that can be faster changed. I know there are many in St. Louis trying to do this. We are not the only ones. There are many folks, not in academia, but policymakers, community members, many organizations here are trying to do that. So coalescing now will be important. So putting everybody that is doing, working towards that together to really maximize effort. I think that'll be my first recommendation. We need to coalesce and work together with measurable targets and, with the best evidence available.
Well, the analysis that you've prepared along with your colleagues has been published online in the journal Cities and Health. Dr. Rodrigo Reis, thank you so much for joining us this morning here on KMOX to tell us more about it.
Thank you so much, Megan. I wish you and all your audience a wonderful Friday.
Oh, you as well. Again, that is Dr. Rodrigo Reis, professor of public health at Washington University and senior investigator on this study of livability. Coming up on Total Information AM, Debbie Monterrey is going to tell us about a unique house tour. And then a little bit later this hour, we are hoping to join a news conference, an update by the FBI. President Trump saying this morning that a suspect in the killing of Charlie Kirk, of course, the conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, that a suspect is in custody there. The FBI is expected to offer a briefing sometime in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So again, we hope to join that live here on KMOX. Right now, let's get an update on the roads for you this morning. Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're looking great out there right now, Megan. This traffic report's a service of Duke's Mayonnaise. If you're on northbound 270, let's call it north of 44 up through Manchester, just a general heavy slowdown all the way through there. But after that, you're good to go. Eastbound 64, just a brief delay right through 170 Hanley. South 170 is not even bogged down at Brentwood. South of there, where you get backed up getting onto eastbound 64. And downtown eastbound 64, there is still a backup from west of Jefferson up past Union Station. Again, that left, I think it's the left lane, closed up to the last Missouri exit till about 2 this afternoon. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it is going to be hot. A high 95 with sunny skies, clear and warm tonight, a low of 70. Another hot day tomorrow, a high expected near 98. Right now we have 66 degrees with sunny skies downtown at the Arch.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Football is back, thank goodness. And Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more during football season. There is nothing better. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TOM. That's really important. Promo code TOM to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/. facebook.com/web/play and get terms_DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're back with KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Again, one programming note, we do intend to take an FBI briefing on the murder of Charlie Kirk. That is expected to begin sometime in the next 10 to 15 minutes. We are just getting word from the Associated Press confirming that there is a suspect in custody believed to be a 22-year-old from Utah. Let's get more now on something that is not so heavy duty from our Debbie Monterrey.
Many people just think of downtown when they think of St. Louis, but St. Louis is a city of neighborhoods, some very distinct neighborhoods that you should get familiar with. Joining me right now, Amy and Adam Rustage, and they are with the Linden Park Neighborhood Association. Adam is the president. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Debbie. Glad to be here.
For people who are like Lindenwood Park, where in St. Louis is Lindenwood Park?
So Lindenwood Park is Hampton on the east, Chippewa on the south, the city county border on the west, and Arsenal on the north.
All right. So a lot of people think of Ted Drew's as being in St. Louis Hills, but it is actually Lindenwood Park?
No, it isn't. It is in St. Louis Hills. We're
But
just
it's
literally
near
across Chippewa.
Got it.
Yeah, as soon as you go across Chippewa, you're officially in Lindenwood Park.
All right. And Amy, what do you think distinguishes Lindenwood Park from other neighborhoods?
Well, we're fun and we're friendly, and we have lots of neat events thanks to the Neighborhood Association. We have concerts in the park 4 times a year. We put on a garden club contest, in an event, and everybody is just very kind to each other, and we really look out for each other.
Yeah, that's a great thing about city neighborhoods for sure. And people are going to get an opportunity to see more of Lindenwood Park because you're having a house tour. Is this a new thing or is this an annual thing?
We do an event called Linfest every other year. And so we decided what would make sense when we're not doing Linfest would be to do a house tour. So yeah, this is our first house tour.
What kind of architecture can people expect to see? Is there a dominant kind of architecture in Lindenwood Park?
There is not. We actually have a wider array than you would actually think. So we've tried to get a group of houses that sort of emboldens every style. We have like a new build. We have some that are century old. We have a Sears kit house that was ordered from the Sears catalog in 1941 and was built here in the neighborhood. We have a farmhouse that was a summer refuge for one of the pretty predominant members of the city. He actually lived in Lafayette Square, and it took him about 90 minutes to get from his house in Lafayette Square to his Lindenwood Park summer home by carriage.
Right.
It was the suburbs. It was the boonies.
It was the boonies. And he actually was instrumental in helping to bring the 1904 World's Fair to St. Louis. And as a gift of sorts, after the World's Fair was over, they enabled him to buy the pillars that were at the bottom of the Grand Basin for $1. And those are actually on the front porch of this house.
All right. This isn't the house, is it? On your flyer?
That is the house.
That is the
yes,
house.
it is.
That's a beautiful house. All right. And some of the gingerbread, I guess, is that what they would call it? Gingerbread homes, of course, which are so beautiful.
We both love mid-century modern, and there is a very nice mid-century modern house also on as part of the tour. So you wouldn't think maybe mid-century would fit with, maybe Lindenwood Park, but we've got a handful of them, one predominant street, but there's one that's just fits the bill for a mid-century modern house.
Yeah, those are very popular right now.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get people to open their homes to a house tour
That's
like
a
this?
great question. It has been challenging. We've been trying to get a nice variety. So, but we've certainly had dozens and dozens of people also turn us down for a variety of reasons. For being our first time, it has been challenging.
It has been challenging. We've sent out hundreds of letters. We've followed up with emails. I have knocked on doors. The mid-century one that Adam was just talking about is sort of famous, if you will, because it's right above Donut Drive-In.
Oh.
So everyone sees the back of that house. So we tried to get some different houses that are like ones people go, oh, wonder what that looks like inside, or I can't wait to see the inside of that one.
So make it worth their while. They went through all this trouble for you folks, and then be good, gracious guests. So the second annual, they'll have people stepping up to open their homes. The Lindenwood Park Neighborhood House Tour is Sunday, September 14th, and you can get tickets through Eventbrite in advance or day of.
Yes, and you can also go to our website, lindenwoodpark.org, and you can purchase them there as well. So we just wanted to thank Mobile on the Run and L. Merrick Group of Keller Williams, Realty Pinnacle, and the District 82 State Rep, Nick Kimball, who represents Lindenwood Park. Those are some of the sponsors we just wanted to thank for supporting our event.
That is Adam and Amy Rustage, the Lindenwood Park Neighborhood Association. The house tour is Sunday, September 14th. Have a great event.
It is now 8:29. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Hey, it's Jeff at Saks Financial. I got a free event coming up to maximize your Social Security, September 22nd and 23rd. Come meet me in person and find out how to maximize your Social Security. Sign up at retiresafestl.com/events.
It is 8:30. AP is reporting that a suspect is in custody in connection with the shooting of Charlie Kirk, a 22-year-old from Utah, apparently taken into custody. We are waiting for an update from the FBI. In the meantime, let's get a check on the roads for you on this Friday morning from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's not bad, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Saks Financial. Northbound 270 still slow. Big Bend to Manchester. Eastbound 64 170 through Big Bend heavy. South 170 delays at Brentwood. The biggest jam we have downtown. Eastbound 64 Grand up past Union Station. That left lane closed till 2 this afternoon up toward the ballpark. I'm Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, mostly sunny and hot. We're expecting a high around 95 degrees today. And that could get us pretty close to a record of 98 that was set in 1956. Mainly clear and warm tonight with an overnight low of 71. For tomorrow, sunny and pretty hot, a high 98, so a little bit warmer. And that could get us close to a record of 100 that was set in 1939. We could be close to another record-setting day for heat on Sunday as well, with partly sunny skies and a high of 96. It's not going to be much of a cool-off as we start the work week on Monday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot again, a high of 94. And then for Tuesday, sun and some clouds, still hot, a high 96, the record 98 set in 1954. Currently, we have sunny skies, 67 degrees in Florissant, 64 degrees in St. Peters, and 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. Again, we are still waiting for that press briefing from the FBI. Conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, of course, shot and killed in Utah on Wednesday. There has been a manhunt in that case. We've been told by the FBI over the last couple of days that they were just searching for one individual. It sounds like from what we're hearing from some comments that President Trump made this morning on Fox and from some reporting now by the Associated Press that there is a suspect in custody, a 22-year-old from Utah. That is the latest update that we have. And we are awaiting that briefing now from the FBI in that case.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
It is 8:34. Time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gatner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Kimberly Adams.
Good morning. The next big media deal is reportedly in the planning stages. Sources tell Bloomberg that Paramount Skydance is preparing a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The sources say Paramount is working with an investment bank, but so far it has not held any talks with Warner Brothers. Reports say a formal merger proposal would likely get a lot of regulatory scrutiny. President Trump's nominee to be ambassador to India told reporters the U.S. and India are close to resolving their trade differences. Speaking at his confirmation hearing, Sergio Gore said the two nations are not that far apart on a deal, but he reiterated demands that India end its purchases of Russian oil. And Apple is being sued over selling unsecured and defective gift cards. The proposed class action filed yesterday in California claims that Apple gift cards were susceptible to being drained of funds by unauthorized third parties before the purchaser could use them. The suit alleges that Apple knew about an ongoing fraudulent scheme, but failed to implement security measures or warn customers. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start September 17th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's a good word, thorough. It means complete, accurate, detailed. Well, when you go to Ophthalmology Associates, you will get a thorough eye examination. The technology's incredible. It's all up to date, the very latest. And Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer and their staff will make your visit very personal. That's because they believe every patient is unique. Ophthalmology Associates takes all the research and technology and their personal knowledge and expertise and tailor it into an eye care plan that is as unique as you are. Services include everything from expert treatment of cataracts and retinas to comprehensive eye exams for you and the kids. and a full-service optical shop with a ton of frames to choose from. Ophthalmology Associates, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start September 17th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After a coma, a miracle, and the fight of my life, I made it back to the games wearing my signature cowboy hat and jersey. Then came the baseball pants, the replica trophy, and the smiles and joy from the young fans. That's when the Cardinal Cowboy was born. Renter Garage Door knows how to bring joy too. With top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and family service you can trust, get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back. Giddy up!
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
We do have John Hancock coming up in just a moment here on KMOX, and we are still waiting for that FBI briefing from Utah. First, though, let's get an update on the roads from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the only place we have a jam is downtown Megan, eastbound 64. That left lane's closed between Jefferson and the Poplar Street Bridge. There's a jam from Compton up to about Union Station, maybe 14th Street on eastbound 64. Solid bumper to bumper, though, through that stretch. Eastbound 64, otherwise just a little slow, 170 to Big Bend. Northbound 270, about Doherty Ferry up through Manchester, pretty slow. And I'm seeing a backup northbound Tesson Ferry between Butler Hill and Kennerly. It looks pretty busy through there right now. But otherwise, interstate-wise, we're in good shape for you on both sides of the river. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelly.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, everyone. John Hancock in, Michael Kelly out. Hard to believe he is vacationing. He's in the beautiful country of Greece as we speak, and he may or may not join us later this hour. Of course, we are waiting for this news conference by the FBI in Orem, Utah. Could happen at any moment. And when it does, we're going to go to it live, where allegedly they're going to make an announcement about who they have in custody as the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk 2 days ago. And there's been reporting on this. NBC News, New York Post, and others have reported that the shooter is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah resident. We don't know anything else about him other than his name has been made public. 5 sources confirmed to NBC News that was the name of the individual in custody. He's 22, lives in Utah. The president of the United States, Donald Trump, indicated earlier this morning on the Fox and Friends show that a suspect was likely in custody, and the president also added that he was turned in by his father, who apparently recognized the photographs that had been circulating widespread beginning yesterday. And so hopefully we will find out some more about this young man and what drove him to commit this heinous act, if in fact he is the shooter. But the press accounts that we do have do indicate that a 22-year-old Utah man by the name of Tyler Robinson is the person who has been arrested for the murder of Charlie Kirk. And we'll go live to that news conference when it happens here on the Voice of St. Louis. I was going to spend some time this morning talking about the fact that this political violence that we all find abhorrent and repulsive is nothing new in the United States of America. And you can go back 160 years this year to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, committed by John Wilkes Booth, who was a sympathizer to the Confederate cause, and actually had quite an organized conspiracy to assassinate the president. They had tried to assassinate the president earlier, but it was on that April evening at Ford's Theater where Booth got into Ford's Theater, into the booth where the president was sitting, and shot him and killed him. And that began what has been a very unfortunate and tragic period in American history, leading up to an assassination about 15 years later of President James A. Garfield. And his assassin was a guy named Charles Guiteau. His assassin was mentally ill and thought he deserved a job in the government. And that's why he shot and killed the president. And these motives of these political killings are all over the place. Leon Zaglas was the one who shot and killed President William McKinley in 1901. He was an anarchist. He believed the president was an enemy of the people. He was nuts. And sad though it may have been for McKinley's family, it was a pretty much a senseless act that assassinated the third sitting U.S. president. And then, of course, the story of Lee Harvey Oswald, who we all know, and that was within many of our lifetimes, when he shot President Kennedy from the school book depository in Dallas, Texas in November of 1963. And to this day, we really don't know what motivated Lee Harvey Oswald to do that. Of course, he himself was killed by Jack Ruby just some days after the assassination of President Kennedy. And it's not just been presidents either. There have been political figures over the course of our history who have been targeted and assassinated for various reasons. Of course, famously in 1968, the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was killed by a gentleman named James Earl Ray, who was motivated for a number of different reasons, one of which was racial hatred. He also desired the recognition, the fame, celebrity. That's a common theme that runs through so many of these high-profile shooters, whether they be assassins or mass shooters, as we've increasingly seen in this country. Sirhan Sirhan assassinated Robert F. Kennedy, same year, 1968. He was driven by sympathy for the Palestinians and outrage over RFK's support for Israel. Does that sound familiar? That nearly 60 years ago, that assassination that was committed. John Hinckley, the guy that tried to kill Ronald Reagan in 1981, he was motivated because he was trying to impress Jodie Foster. He was adjudicated to be insane, and he got his sentence at a mental institution, and he just got out last year. For the first time, he was released, but it was mental health problems that beset John Hinckley and drove him to try and kill President Ronald Reagan. Insanity is also the reason that John Schrank shot Theodore Roosevelt as he was campaigning for president in 1912. Fortunately for Roosevelt, he had his glass case in his breast pocket, and he had a 50-page speech in there. And the bullet ricocheted off the glass case, went into the speech, did enter President Roosevelt, but he went on to give a speech that day. Schrank was arrested. He was a former barkeeper, and he was adjudicated to be insane, and he pled an insanity defense, and in fact was not arrested. The insanity defense worked for Schrank. And all of this is to say that political violence is not new, and we don't know the motive of the shooter yet, of Charlie Kirk. I certainly hope we do, and I'm glad that if this is the guy, I'm glad that he was captured alive, because there'll be some valuable information there. But hopefully we will find out what drove this 22-year-old Utah resident, if in fact he is the shooter, what drove him to commit that act. And whatever you may think of Charlie Kirk, or whatever you may think of the former Speaker of the House in Minnesota, who was a Democrat who was killed by a conservative, this political violence is it has no place. Well, it has a place because it happens, and it happens all too frequently, but it is not the way that this country was designed to address its differences. America is unique in the history of the world in that we air our differences. We have the right of free speech in this country, and it gets exercised, and it comes under threat itself over the years, and has, and probably will continue to be so. But the hallmark of the American experiment in democracy is that we air out our differences and our grievances, and we do it openly, and we do it publicly, and we do it nonviolently most of the time. And that should be the standard by which our political leaders and their rhetoric supports, because that is how a functioning democracy works. I think we're going to step aside here for just a moment. We are waiting for this FBI news conference out of Orem, Utah. Could begin any minute. And when it does, we'll bring it to you live. I'm John Hancock. It's the voice of St. Louis. We'll be back after this on KMOX.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri for 2025. Every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Must be within 125 miles. That means complimentary pickup and delivery plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. They make it so easy for you. Schedule it all easily online with Genesis of St. Charles at genesisofstcharles.com. Go visit them. You can buy online and let them deliver for you, or you can go see them at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Luxury service at a state-of-the-art facility that's in St. Peters off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership is Genesis of St. Charles. Online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. McKelvey is on the move with 3 new communities and prime locations opening soon. The early bird gets the worm, so get your pick of the home sites and the best prices first. Join our VIP list at McKelveyHomes.com. Strawberry Farms is located on Mexico Road, east of Highway K from the 480s. Post Farms on Highway N near Duello Road from the 540s, or the Reserve in Wildwood at Highways 109 and 100 from $560,000 to $1 million plus. It's a great time to move up to McKelvey.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Arnold, Thursday, September 18th. A limited number of fans can get an autographed picture from City SC player Timo Bunkardel. Win great prizes, enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Arnold is the place to be Thursday, September 18th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Yes, the Isle of Greece. Wonderful place. Wonderful climate. And joining us from the Isle of Greece, a place that is known for its play.
In the Chrysler tradition of luxury, yes, even rich Corinthian leather.
Yes, a place known for its rich Corinthian leather. Greece. And who's in Greece, you ask? It's Michael Kelly. Michael Kelly, how is the French Corinthian leather down there?
I have no idea what you just asked me, but I am having a lovely time. I got into Athens yesterday and went up to the Acropolis and What else did we do? We saw the changing of the guard in the museum, and the Placa, and now I'm headed to an island, John.
Which one?
I don't know. What island are we headed to? Lefkada, and it's kind of one of the northern islands, and the northwest.
You can drive. You'll manage to drive too.
And so anyway, I'm headed that way right now.
What time of day is it over there, Michael?
It's it's a great question. It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
You know, they say it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, and apparently where you are, it's already almost 5 o'clock.
Yes, it is almost 5 o'clock, and we are desperately trying to get to this place so that we can enjoy our festivities. But safe to say, I tasted the food last night and made sure that the bar had all safe alcohol for any of its patrons.
So did you have, what did you have for dinner last night? Did you have the pastizo?
I did not have the pastizo. I had a tomatoes and onions salad.
Uh-huh.
I had this very thinly sliced zucchini that's like flash fried tzatziki sauce or whatever
tzatziki sauce. Yes, he had the tzatziki sauce. Uh-huh.
And I had the most incredible piece of fish. It was white fish with some lemon and some capers. By the way, capers are great.
Yes, capers
I
are
would
great.
love to
Very
know
underrated.
how you make capers.
Couldn't agree at all. I think they're little tiny little pickles.
Really?
No, I have no idea what they are, Michael. But I do like them.
How are things over in the States? I left town and things got awfully crazy over there.
We are waiting in approximately 4 minutes now. There's going to be a news conference. The FBI is holding a news conference in Orem, Utah. We're going to carry it live here on KMOX. It's supposed to start in 4 minutes. There's been reporting by NBC News, the New York Post, and others that the shooter, who is in custody, has been identified as 22-year-old Utah resident Tyler Robinson, about whom we know essentially nothing at this point. But that's been the reporting. He is at this stage an alleged shooter. And the FBI is going to hold this news conference coming up shortly, and we will go to it live here on KMOX. While we've got you, though, Michael, what's your itinerary looking like down there? Folks out in our listening audience may be planning a trip to Greece themselves, for all I know, and they'd like to know what route Michael Kelly is taking.
Yes, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer. I am headed to an island in the Northwest right now. I'm going to a regatta.
Yeah.
That's a fancy boat race. I'm going to a regatta. I'm going out on a cruise for a couple days. Like not a cruise like, Carnival, but
Who's
like a smaller boat.
You apparently have not planned this trip, I'm guessing.
No, I've not planned anything. I'm being hosted, and so I'm allowing those decisions to be made by my friend who has Greek citizenship.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
And
she got dual citizenship.
Well, that sounds like a lovely trip. And I would assume this is not Vanessa's first rodeo in Greece. She's probably been there a bunch.
No, we're going to her family home. I'm also with my friend Kaina, and the three of us haven't been on a trip together in probably 15, 20 years, solo like this. And we've already decided that this may be the best way to travel.
Wow. When can we expect to see you again, or can we expect to see you again?
September the 20-something. I will be back, and
he's got no
I'm looking forward to see you. I understand you're hosting the whole week with Ron, huh?
Pretty much. I think I'm taking one day off, but yeah, I'll be here, and you'll be there, and I'll be jealous, and you'll be having fun. So that's good.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, and I got to tell you, man, hearing the news and reading this stuff, it's just sickening, John, because I don't know, man, you and I have talked about it for a while. We just feel like we're on this slide of never-ending nonsense that keeps heightening and never really gets addressed.
Yeah, we're in a particularly dark and polarized place right now as a country. We've been there before. at least a couple of times, if not more. And we're living through some very tenuous times right now, to be sure. Hey, buddy, have a good trip. Be safe over there. I look forward to catching up when you get back. Keep sending pictures.
I will. I'll send you some here shortly. Have a good time, brother.
See you, pal. That's Michael Kelly from Greece, reporting from Greece. No idea where he is or where he's going, but he's there. And we're going to step aside right now. And as soon as this news conference begins by the FBI in Orem, Utah, we're going to go to it live. This is the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York, and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone.